Hello and welcome to week 3 of the online phonics from Coventry Education Service. My name's Debbie and I will be taking you through this third week recording. So, I hope you're all well and having a super week. Let's have a look what we've got for ourselves this week. Okay. So just to run through some of the general admin, welcome. Here's my email address and some links if you want to find out about other courses. Just a reminder of some of the basics. The session actually takes about 45 minutes done like this. Please feel free to write notes. If you need to, just to remind you that we follow the British rules and values, and this is our telephone number should you wish to contact our team for anything. Just a question then, have a think. How did you find the activities at home? Was there a particular activity you enjoyed or found useful? Anything that you've adapted for yourselves and might use again? Please feel free to email me with any feedback, because that's really useful with making sure this is as good as possible for people moving forward. So today's objectives, we're going to recap phase 3, which was 6 and 7, look into phase 4 and go through some resources, and just to ask you to take a moment to consider where you put yourself on the traffic light system at the moment. Do you understand the topic already? Are you green on the phase 3 and phase 4 stuff? Understand most of it? Would you give yourself yellow or orange because you understand some of it, or are you red? It's new to you. Just have a think, just for you to consider for yourself so you can see how you're progressing. Just a reminder of the task images. If you see the man with the thought bubble, have a think. Feel free to pause it whilst you're doing so. Same with the notepad. Please jot down some notes for yourself. Please do pause if you need to. That's the beauty of the record, is that you can give yourself as much time as necessary. The boy cup in his ear, listen carefully, and repeat out loud is the fourth picture. So just to recap then from last week, reception in year 1 is where we work more on phase 2 to 4. Children are taught each of the spoken phonemes and they start to blend and segment sounds. Okay, so we talked about k, at, taking separate sounds and pushing them together, k, at, to blend words, and pulling words apart. So dog, dog. What can you hear? Dog. Or g at the end. What else? Dog, dog, dog. The spelling. Another tip, just remembering those pure sounds, really helpful when you're first practicing with the children. Try not to put too much of an on the end of a sound. So it's s-at, not s-at. Just makes blending far easier, makes it easier for children to learn the technique of blending and segmenting if they're using the pure sounds. The key names, phonics, is learning all about the sounds that letters make. The phoneme is how we say it. The grapheme is how we write it. We blend when we push those sounds together to form words, and we segment when we do the opposite, when we pull those words apart to work out the individual sounds for writing. Vowel, so the letters A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, O are our vowels. The consonants are all of the other letters, and they're listed there for you, okay? So when we talk about vowel digraphs, consonant digraphs, these are the letters you need to be thinking about. Digraph, 2 letters together, making one sound. So di means 2. So for instance, the consonant digraph is 2 consonants together that make one sound. So for instance, ch. If you look at both consonants, th, ng. And a vowel grapheme, sorry, is how we write a sound that's got one more, how we write a sound that has more than one sound in it, but at least one vowel. So for instance, here we've got A and it, R, A and R, U, R, A, U. Okay. These are the phase 3 sounds that we looked at last week, set 6, 7, digraphs and the vowel graphemes. Let's just run through them again. If you could repeat each one after me. So we've got ch, your turn, v, your turn, w, your turn, x, your turn, y, Your turn. Z. Z. Qu. Your turn. Ch. Your turn. Sh. Your turn. Th. Your turn. Ng. Your turn. A. Your turn. E. Your turn. I. Your turn. O. Your turn. U. Your turn. O. Your turn. R. Your turn. Or. Your turn. Your turn. Ow. Your turn. Oi. Your turn. Ear. Your turn. Air. Your turn. Your turn. Your turn. Super. So we're going to use some of those now and put them into pictures and see if we can remember some of them and put them in the right spot. So first one, what can you see? Boat. There's that O sound. We've got, we're blending. We've got B, O, T, B, O, T. Okay, and very clearly we can see if children learn that O and A together make the O sound. When they come to write, they'll know to use that as a sound, as a single sound, and they can start writing words with more complex phonemes in them. Okay, so B, O, T. So look at the next one. What's the picture of? Okay, any idea then from the sounds we've been looking at last week? And we're recapping now what our sound might be. What's that one? Oi. Good. So we've got oin. What's that going to give us? K. Oin. Going. Yeah, you with me? Let's keep going. Next one, where are the children playing? What do you think the sound's going to be? Like, hear a clue? What's that sound? R. P. Ark. P. Ark. Bark. Next one, let's have a look at what we're pointing at. What is the arrow pointing at? Let's hit, oh, what's that one? I'll give you a clue. A. So we've got T, A. What's that last sound going to be? All. Well, I don't remember it. Is a oh, not a L, but a L. T, A, all. And this is why, because how easy is that to blend? T, ale, T, ale, rather than T, A, L. Doesn't work, does it? Tail. Next one then. Which one of those phonemes do you think we might have in here? E. Does that give you a clue? E. What we're going to need on the end. So imagine now we're teaching our children to spell, okay? So E. We're segmenting here as well as blending, aren't we? Eat. Brilliant. If they can get as far as E, you can work with them on what they need next, okay? Feet. Good stuff. Next one. Have I told you the picture was of a light? Does that help? What's our phoneme? I. Remember, sometimes we have 3 letters together making one sound. I. So what do we need at the beginning of I to make light? L. I. T. Light. Next one. My animations are going a bit crazy here, but yeah, we've got ooh in this one, okay? So double O making ooh. What's it going to be? Sp, oon, sp, oon. Spoon. Super duper. Oh, another piece of cutlery here. What have we got? Let's have a think. Which phoneme might it be? Or. Okay, so we're going to need to make fork with this. Then what's the first sound going to be? Fork. Yeah. Fork. Next one, the picture's not great on this one, but if I told you it's something you might do to your hair. K, k, and I think this is a really good set just to prove again why we do the rather than the l. Okay, k, it leads the words, the sounds lead into each other much better if we're using the pure sounds. And this is where when we start getting into 2 letters making a sound, it gets trickier to look at. But if we've got those pure sounds already fixed in our heads, it really helps. Okay, got a curl. Next one, we've got a wolf. What's the wolf doing? Ow. Does that help you? Ow. Ow. Yeah, the wolf's having a howl. What's the arrow pointing to? What might this one be? Oh, this time. So the double O making an oh sound this time. Oh, k, oh, k, hook. Next one. Bit of a tricky one again. What's that a picture of? Which phoneme might we be using? It's ear. Okay, because we've got b, eared, b, eared. Yeah, beard. Next one, that's gold, in case you're wondering. It's really, really, really good quality gold. So we've got our your, pure, pure. Personally, this is the one that always trips me up. Obviously, we all find that with different sounds, but the your in this one, pure. Okay. Okay, we've got 2 socks there, but another way we might put it, instead of saying we've got 2 socks, we might say that we've got a pair. Yep, so there's that air. What's going to go with air to make pair? Air. Yeah, only 2 sounds this time. Obviously, one of those sounds is made up with 3 letters. Pair. Okay. Hopefully, just by doing that, you can see some more of the words that we might need those sounds for. Quite a lot of everyday words again, and you can see by teaching children straight away that certain sounds have got more than 1 letter, when they come to be writers and they come to be spellers, they're more successful because they're not scratching around thinking, well, how do I spell pear? How do I spell the air in pear? They've been taught a way to spell it. They've been given those building blocks, and now it's just putting them together. And by being taught the blocks first, the sequencing becomes a 1, 2, 3 rather than a 1. Oh, what was that sound again? You know, they've got those sounds to hand, so that's really useful. Here are those phase 3 tricky words, just again, that go along with those that your children need to be practicing at the same time. At the moment, they don't follow any patterns. Once the children move further along in phonics and they're taught that there's more than 1 way, more than 1 sound from each letter, they will. But at the moment, with what they've got, they don't, which is why they have to learn them standalone. Again, some more examples of words your children will be able to read and hopefully begin to blend and segment. So for writing too, using those words across set 1 and 7 that we've been looking at, and some of the sentences they'll be able to make. Okay, there's lots of them, but it just gives you an idea of the vocabulary that they'll be able to read and write with as they work through these sets. Just a reminder at this point as well, obviously we've covered this lot in 3 weeks so far, which is speedy. Your children will probably take the best part of a term or 2. Yeah, you are probably looking at more like 2 terms for them to get to this point securely. So please remember, obviously this is a 5-week course to show you these things. Don't start doing these things with your children who've just started reception. Certainly not without advice from the school anyway, because you'll be flying ahead from where they are. They need those building blocks to be really first. And that's one thing that I would really want to emphasize to you. Get those building blocks in first. Get but obviously in that order first. Get your pure sounds. Get going with those CVC simple words first. Get practicing all of that before we get thinking about, I want my child to write big sentences. I'm showing you what they will be able to do and why we're teaching things in a certain order, not trying to dash you along. And that's really important just to make that point. Okay, so I'm going to pause there for a moment. Please feel free to pause me and take a break. It's quite a lot to take in and take on, but hopefully it's helping. Yeah, please take a few minutes and I'll see you back here then. Okay, welcome back. So now we're going to move into phase 4. Okay, so this is the new teaching for this session. So In phase 4, children continue to practice the phonemes and graphemes they've learnt so far to read and write words. And this time we start looking at CVCC words. So for instance, a word that's got a consonant, vowel, consonant, consonant. Okay. So 4 sounds, for instance, tent and lamp. Now if you look at the blue ones, the consonants, the blue arrows, and the purple ones, the vowels. Okay. So tent, t is a consonant, is a vowel, n is a consonant, and t is a consonant. CVCC words. Okay. Same with lamp, l is a consonant, is a vowel, m is a consonant, and p is a consonant. Okay. Phase 4 also includes some very similar words, but in a slightly different order. CCVC words. Okay, and these ones are consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant. Okay, very similar, but we just have the vowel moved across one, if you like. So it's 2 consonants, vowel, consonant, whereas the last lot was 1 consonant, vowel, 2 consonants. Okay, very similar words. So for instance, here we've got swim, consonant, consonant, vowel, I, consonant, swim. Okay, and spoon, consonant, consonant, vowel, consonant, spoon. And just to make you aware in spoon, if you look, it's a double letter phoneme. Yeah, so we've got a digraph in there. It's double O to make the oo sound. Still counts as 1 sound. Even though there's 5 letters there, it's still 4 sounds, which is why it fits into the CCVC. And on top of that, there's 14 new tricky words for the children to learn as well. Okay, so again, set 4, this is a whistle-stop tour. Phase 4, there's quite a bit to it. So phase 4 is made up of consonant blends, which usually come either at the beginning, as in the initial, or the end, final sounds in words. Okay, we're going to go through each one together. Quite often they're separated into the initial sounds and the final sounds. There is at least one that could be either st, st, as in start, or at the end of a word, as in bust, or last. Okay, but most of them either tend to come at the start or the end of a word. Okay, let's have a look at the link to show us a little bit more. Find the first one for us. Here we go. Let's have a watch.
Initial consonant blends. Some consonants can be blended to make a slightly different sound. B, brr. Here are some more consonant blends. Cr, dr, fr, gr, tr. Initial consonant blends appear at the beginning of words. Read these words containing initial consonant blends. Brr, 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 brr.
Have a go. Brr, brr, ow.
Brown.
Brr,
Bricks.
brr,
Brush. Crr, 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 crr.
crr, crab,
Crab.
crown,
Crown.
crack,
Crack. Drr, 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 drr.
drain,
Drill.
dragon,
Fur, 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 fur.
frog,
Frog.
frills,
Frown. Grr, 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 grr.
green,
Green. Grin.
Grain.
Trr. Trr. Trr.
Trr.
Trr.
Tree.
Tree.
Train.
Train.
Trunk.
Trunk. Thank you for watching Simply Phonics. Please click here to subscribe or here for more Simply videos.
And the second one gives us our final consonant blends. Okay, so this is some of the other ones from this phase.
Final consonant blends. Some consonants can be blended to make a slightly different sound. N, k, nk. Here are some more consonant blends. St, nd, mp, ft. Final consonant blends appear at the end of words. Read these words containing final consonant blends. Nk, 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 nk. Bank. Think. Sunk. St, 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 st. Last. Rest. Fist. Nd, 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 nd. Sand.
End.
Bend.
Und.
Fund. Mp, 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 mp. Camp.
Imp.
Chimp. Jump. Ft, 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 ft.
Ft. Raft.
Raft.
Left.
Left.
Soft.
Soft. Thank you for watching Simply Phonics. Please click here to subscribe or here for more Simply videos.
Just a nice way of showing you more clearly how it works. Now, particularly with the final sounds, it's quite difficult to say them on their own because normally they come at the end of a word, so it makes sense when you kind of all the letters and sounds lead into it. They're a bit tricky on their own, but you'll find out a little bit more about that as we go along. So let's run through some together. So our picture is of a tree. Yeah, so you've got a tree. Your turn. Tree. Next one. So we've got our drain. Your turn. Next one. This is grandma. So we've got grandma. Your turn. Nice hand cream here. So we've got our cream. Your turn. Next one. We've got our bread. Your turn. Next one. We've got our fries. Your turn. Right, and this time the lady's wearing a blouse. Blouse. Your turn. Look, a pretty flower. Flower. Your turn. There we go. All the children love this and it makes us very sticky. We've got our glue. Your turn. Glue. Okay. Next one. for all of our devices, our phones and all that sort of stuff. We've got our plug. Plug. Your turn. Next one, nice golf club here. Any of you like to play? Club. Your turn. Okay, nice stop sign here. So stop. Your turn. Okay, now we come into the final sounds now, so at the end of words generally. Okay, so this one we've got hand. Your turn. Next one. Lamp. Your turn. Okay, it's an ant. So we've got ant. Your turn. Tricky with these final sounds, isn't it? Okay. Next one. It is the bank. So we've got bank. Your turn. Okay, they're squeezing in the lift. Another tricky one. Lift. Your turn. It's trying to keep all these sounds as pure as possible as well while we're pushing them together. It is tricky, but all the practice will help. The arrow's pointing to something on the elephant. It's his tusk. So we've got sk, tusk. Your turn. Nice fabric here for doing lots of sewing and crafts with. We've got felt. Alt, felt. Your turn. There we go. A nice picture here of somebody giving somebody else a hand. So we've got help this time. Help. Your turn. Next one. Shelf. We've got ulf, shelf. Your turn. Okay. Firm favourite with my children to draw on outside with. Chalk. So we've got orc, chalk. Your turn. I struggled with this one a bit, but if you look, the lion slept. Okay, so slept. That's a tricky one. Definitely caught me out there. And this one, a really good example. Maybe more from the 90s and the noughties than now, but about text. Okay, texting. Text. Your turn. Okay, they're quite tricky on their own because they don't make real simple sounds. It's quite a lot to get your teeth and your tongue round. That's why the practice is good. And although quite a few of them are easier, I think, in terms of the letters do what you think they will, there's less, behaves differently, like in sh. But it's more of a tongue twister. So you need lots and lots of practice. So do practice yourself so that when your children come to use them, you'll be able to. And just remember, some of them are initial, come at the start of words, and some of them tend to come at the end of words, end sounds. So if you use that to help you, like with the pictures on here, it will just help you think, that's my word. This is how I say it. And that's kind of the better way around to do it with these, I think. Think of your word and pick apart how you say it. So by phase 4, all children should be able to spell the phase 3 tricky words. He, my, you, she, her, we, they, me, all, be, are and was. They should be able to spell these, okay? Let's have a look at this game, if it will let me. Bring it up for us. Let's have a look if it's trying. That's not the one. Bear with me a second, because it may just simply be, but because I'm in here, it won't let me. Let's see if I can bring it up for us anyway. Here we go. The link will work for you, but because I'm presenting the PowerPoint, it doesn't so well. But let me just show you this game. This is a nice game. for the phase 3 tricky words. Tricky trucks, it's called. Come back, mouse. There we go. So let's have a look. There we go. So it tells you on these phonics, nice phonics blooms. We've got a few of those to look at today. The phase, you can turn the sound on or off. We've got it on. If you want any more information about the game, stand out the word that appears on each truck, and adult will click correct or wrong. So you work with your children on this, okay? Or they can work in pairs if they've got an older brother or sister. So you can choose the decodable words. These are the ones that will make sense and follow patterns, or the tricky words, okay? We're looking at tricky words today, so we'll look at that together. So actually you cross off the ones you don't want. So I'm going to get rid of the decodable words and we're just going to play with tricky words. So, oh, what's your word? Yeah. Oh, afraid not. Now give it a try. Off goes the truck. Let's see what's coming next. Me, I know that one. Excellent. There's me. Another one. Oh, she. Excellent. Pick up their scores, okay, and it's just nice. It's a nice way of reinforcing, getting children to play together. It's just another. It's a bit like flashcards with them on, but obviously it's just more fun because the sounds and things going on as well. They do tend to enjoy those sorts of games. So just bear that in mind because again, can be a nice balance between what you're doing online and what you don't. So these are the phase 4 tricky words. Your child needs to learn them alongside learning the phase 4 sounds. Just to remind you, the tricky words won't blend and segment in the way that we practice, so they need to learn them by sight. So this is when I talk about the flashcards and things. This is the words they need to know. So we've got said, have, like, so, do, some, come, there, little, one, were, out, what, and when. Okay, again, we've got the some and come, so they do sometimes give us pairs that do the same thing, which can be quite good as a reinforcer, but obviously there's lots on there that don't follow a pattern. That's a bit trickier, but the children will learn these. And again, these are the words they need to go alongside the words they'll be able to build using the new phase in order to be successful as possible. This is a nice activity that I'll make sure is sent to you. Roll it and read it for the phase 4 tricky words. So literally they roll the dice. If they land a 2, for instance, you choose a word from that column. So I might start at the bottom and choose, oh, so. My word, so. Brilliant. Cover it up with a counter. Next person rolls the dice, does the same thing. And you can either play until the board's full and you see who's got the most counters, or you can just play until all of one number's full. You can choose. If your child's just starting out with these tricky words, you might do initial sounds and last sounds, or you might do find the phonemes. You might find the can you choose a word that's got a vowel digraph in it or a consonant digraph. Yeah, you can play it however you see fit. Or what's the initial sound? You know, even if you want to use this with a child a bit further back, you could always do those sorts of games too. Just makes that sight vocabulary learning a bit more interesting. I'll make sure that this comes through to you as well in case you don't have a dice and counters at home. You can just print them off to use, and you can make your own dice as well, which is good fun. So here are some more phase 4 activities for you to look at, and I'm going to show you some of these now. Phonics Bloom really comes into its own this week for us. And I'll show you these games on here. So Alien Escape, this is a nice one for phase 4. And again, click the eye and it'll remind you, can you help the alien get to the UFO and escape? Click on the letters to spell the word in the picture. If you're correct, the alien will walk across the bridge. This one's quite nice. It reminds me almost of a platform game. So you Sonic the Hedgehog and all that, Mario, all that sort of thing. So what's your picture? What's in this picture? Belt. Okay, belt. What do you hear? Good. You just click on it. I'm going to drag it so it's nice and simple in case your mouse is playing up or anything, or you're on the bus. Belt. How do you make that old sound? Yeah. That's quite excited, Aileen, wasn't it? And you kind of progress up the screen, and it's got a lot of the game virtual sort of sounds and noises. I think this is a really lovely one. So this time, oh, do you know what that is? And again, the letters are there, so although they're jumbled up, that might give a bit of a clue. Or you could say it begins with a sk. Sk. Okay, well, I can do sk then, mummy. It's a skunk. What's next? Oh, I think there's another skunk. Okay, I'm going to try it like this. And if they're wrong, do you hear it tells them they're wrong? So then they can click off it and they'll put letters back and they can rearrange. Okay. Okay, a really nice game, and they can work their way up the board. And it's just practicing these phase 4 initial consonant blends, blend and end blends. Okay, makes it fun. Really quite like that one. Another link on that same page is this game, which is Odd and Bob. Click on the eye. The green alien Odd loves fake words, and Bob only likes real words. So you've got to sort the words out. So this is good for practicing again, real words and non-real words. So you're thinking about actual words that make sense and that we use, and words that you can build using phonics that actually don't. Okay, again, choose your set. So we've got here, can you see CVCC or your CCV and CCVC? So you can start, I'd start there. You've got your fake and your real. Sound it out. Oh, there's my blend. Coughed. I think that's fake. I'm going to feed him. He'll gobble it up, enjoy it. Yeah. Okay. Next one's coming in. Oh, here come the aliens again. We've got ulp. Oh, my consonant blend is ulp. I think this is real. If you get it wrong, he feels a bit poorly afterwards. Yeah, just another nice way of having fun with learning these sounds. Okay, the phonics bloom stuff's really lovely. And the third one here, slightly different game. This time you're pairing the words to the picture. So you get a board. So again, you choose which word you want to pair. I'm going to go for 11. So tick off the ones you don't want, and I'll get crosses. You press play, and it starts to time you. So you turn one over. I'm going to go over here and try and get a picture of a town. Okay. Gift. Can I find a picture of a gift? Oh no. So half of them will be words and half of them will be pictures. Oh, hand. Hand. Let's try and make a pair. Yeah. Or gift. Was that down here? Oh yes, better than I realised. And it makes the pairs for you. Okay, and you can time yourself, and you can compete. Another nice game that's just again good to practice with, and the children are practicing without even realising they're doing it, which I think is a really good way of embedding stuff when they're learning without realising they're learning. Switch them back on at the end of the day, maybe. Here's the phase 4 home learning challenges, which again I'll make sure are emailed out to you. Some nice things there with the tricky words again, and a few of the consonant initial and end sounds for you to have a go with. Please do look at those. There's some nice things on there. So this week we have looked at letters and sounds. We've looked at the keywords again, so we've run through some of that. We recapped phase 3 just to try and make sure that's had a chance to solidify a bit over the past week, and we've begun phase 4, and there are some really good resources, particularly online this week, but there are some other things that I'll send to you as well as an attachment, so that you can use them to play games and things at home too. Okay, we'll look at phase 4 again next week. We'll do a recap with some more things on it, because I'm aware there's an awful lot of sounds to throw at you, particularly if you weren't taught in phonics. I wasn't taught in phonics, and actually it's only through training it and using it a lot over time that I can do the ulk and the ulp. And you do feel a bit daft doing it, to be honest, to start with. So it's just really important to just embed that, and it will really help your children too. Take a moment then to reflect, please. Just thinking about the topic. So phase 3 and now into phase 4 phonics. How do you feel now at the end of the session? Still feeling red? Still thinking I'm not very confident? Feel like you understand some of it? Maybe you'd be orange, understand most of it, or fully understand it at green. Wouldn't expect many people to be on green just yet, not unless you had a lot of prior knowledge, because this is, as I say, there's a lot of sounds to get your head around at once. But hopefully with the recaps that we do, that will just help. Okay, so think about the session. How has today been helpful? Anything that's been particularly useful? Perhaps your child happens to be in this phase, or this was something you're trying to help them with when schools were closed, that now just makes a bit more sense. And if there's anything else you'd like more help with, please do feel free to email me. So next week we'll be looking at rhyming using our phonics. We'll be covering some more of the tricky words and some more of a recap. So we'll, as I say, we'll definitely be going through this phase 4 stuff again, just to embed it and make sure that we're confident with it. Okay. So I'd like to thank you for attending, coming along again. I hope it's been useful to you. And here are my details in case you do have anything you'd like to comment on, or you'd like any feedback or any help. Okay. Have a super rest of your week, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.